All right there, everyone. My, oh my, we argued that the arrest and imprisonment of Tommy Robinson would only fuel and intensify the populist revolt, but few of us saw this coming. The U.S. Ambassador Sam Brownback has actually lobbied UK officials to release Tommy Robinson. That's what we'll be talking about on today's video. Just a very quick update here before we begin. I wanted to remind you that you can get my latest book, The Triumph of Tradition, for free for a limited time as a download on the link below. If you want a nice balance of the theoretical and evidential basis for a new conservative age rising, then this is the book for you. It's my gift to you for free at the link below. All right, on to business here. Reuters is reporting that Sam Brownback, who's the U.S. Ambassador for International Religious Freedom, formally complained to the British ambassador in Washington, D.C. about the treatment of imprisoned activist Tommy Robinson. Now, the meeting apparently took place this last June in Washington, and Brownback did say that if the issue with Tommy Robinson wasn't resolved in a fair and equitable manner by the British officials, then the United States may have to publicly condemn Britain's treatment of him. Now, just in case you don't know, Tommy Robinson is an English conservative activist. He's a nationalist populist. He's the founder of the English Defense League. A huge YouTube and social media personality. Very young man, family man, very well-spoken, populist rhetorician, as it were. Tommy was arrested a couple of months back in late May outside of a courthouse in Leeds, where he was filming an Islamic gang that was alleged to have been running a child grooming racket entering into court for trial. He was arrested for what authorities called the breach of the peace and contempt of court because he had been warned not to do that, and he was sentenced to 13 months in prison. No trial, nothing. Specifically, as I understand, he was found guilty for violating English law, which limits publicity during criminal trials. Regardless, the judge involved in the case then, without any explanation, slapped a reporting ban on the entire incident, which is generally reserved only for cases of espionage and, national security. And to make matters even worse, Tommy Robinson's lawyer has been warning that the presence of Muslim gang members in prison was a threat to Tommy's physical safety. And so there have been mass rallies ever since in support of Tommy Robinson all over Britain, indeed all over the world. Australia, France, United States, interestingly enough, even in Israel, in Tel Aviv, outside of the British Embassy. The main rally took place just outside of Downing Street, and it attracted a crowd of estimated around 20,000 in attendance. They set up a stage. They featured a number of speakers to help, really fire up the crowd. Dutch firebrand Geert Wilders was there, Wilders of the Dutch Party for Freedom. He headlined the event, as I understand it. The rock singer Morrissey, formerly The Smiths, he came out in support of Tommy Robinson. So this whole fiasco has just unleashed a populist giant that's just getting bigger. And we're seeing now it's in fact attracting the attention of the nationalist populist president of the United States, one Donald Trump. Now, what's interesting here is that Ambassador Brownback raised the jailing of Robinson during a meeting with the British ambassador centered on what Reuters calls religious freedom issues, which is actually, frankly, something I wasn't expecting. Admittedly, it's unclear here, but it appears that the issue of Tommy's treatment in terms of his safety at the hands of Islamic prisoners is being framed as a religious freedom issue, or perhaps better, religious discrimination issue, which, if that's the case, again, I find that very interesting. The whole issue here seems to be that because Tommy because he's been such an outspoken critic of Islam and Islamic immigration, he's at inordinate risk to be physically threatened by Muslim inmates. Be that as it may, you have left-wing globalists, of course, all up in arms with this. The corporatist globalist media quoted what they called an anti-racist group called Hope Not Hate. Why is it that these liberal lunatics always have the stupidest names? Hope Not Hate. I have to take a breath. A spokesman from Hope Not Hate said that such lobbying efforts were, and I'm quoting him or her, a disgrace. But that we shouldn't be surprised given Trump's racist rants this week in Britain, which we're talking about in another video for the day today. A disgrace, but not surprising given Trump's racist rants. I'm sorry, folks, but doesn't that sound a little hateful to you? Does it sound like this person really hates what Trump is doing? Hope not hate, man. Spread it. Now, more demonstrations and protests on behalf of freeing Tommy Robinson are scheduled for today in Britain. Thousands of pro-Trump and Tommy supporters are amassing in central London today. I believe that they'll be marching from the U.S. Embassy to Whitehall, where they're going to be holding a Free Tommy Robinson rally. The latest reports, I actually just checked about a half an hour ago. The latest reports estimate that already now about 2,000 supporters are gathering in Westminster for a demonstration with banners and signs. Hopefully there'll be a YouTube live feed. That'd be great. Now, look, we predicted this would happen, okay? In our video that followed Tommy's arrest and imprisonment that we put up just a day or so after, we predicted that this arrest would only fuel and intensify and increase the worldwide populist revolt. And this is largely because of the advent of what scholars call the network society. The network society is, of course, this worldwide telecommunication system via the internet and Skype and social media and email and the like, which is able to effectively bypass the old bureaucratic institutional structures that used to serve as the mediators of communication, and instead replaces them with a mass network of immediate digital information. And that with the advent of the network society, there was just no way that British officials were going to be able to just sweep this whole matter of Tommy's imprisonment under the rug, as it were, right? The world was going to see it, whether these elites liked it or not, and it was just going to serve to awaken a populist giant throughout the UK and indeed throughout the world, as we're seeing in Australia and Israel and the US and the like. And now we can say that it has reached the highest echelons of the American and British governments. So we'll certainly be keeping our eyes on all of this and see how things develop here for Tommy. But in the meantime, there's no question the whole Tommy Robinson situation is here to stay. There's no putting this genie back in the bottle. The populist revolt is growing stronger every day, and like I've said, we ain't seen nothing yet. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Click on our Patreon link below and become a monthly supporter of this channel, and help us to continue to analyze current events in light of conservative trends so that you can personally and professionally flourish. God bless.